Daniel Turner is joining us right now. We mentioned it earlier on about this push right now. The administration is, I think, I'm not mischaracterizing it, Daniel, all but begging these OPEC plus countries to increase production. They don't seem to be budging. So we're not going to be getting any help from them to address these rocketing prices in our country today, notwithstanding. What do you make of that?
Yeah, and let's tie these 2 points together, your previous segment and this about OPEC. The OPEC's meeting ended a couple hours ago, and they said, no, they're not going to increase production. And so Joe Biden could obviously put Americans back to work, American oil and gas people, American pipeline workers, but he's choosing not to do that. And your previous report talked about these small business owners. Who are these politicians making these decisions that are destroying American lives? They're not people who use weed whackers or lawn equipment or run a small farm like I do here in rural Virginia. They're not people who operate small businesses. They're not the pipeline workers who I talk to who for 11 months now have had no income. And they're told by this president and by people like John Kerry, well, in the future, we'll have a job for you. But if you've gone 11 months without income and food prices are rising and oil and heating prices, electricity prices, gas prices are all rising, who do these politicians work for, Neil? Because they are destroying average American lives every single day, and no one seems to care about it. It's so angering and infuriating.
No, I know you and I talk about this before, Dan. If you want to be all in on all other types of energy, so have at it, but not at the expense of what has been our winning ticket right now, the ample production in this country that led to these lower prices and led to us being the world's number one oil producer. But when you lump things like natural gas with that and call it a filthy energy, and I'm thinking, well, I think natural gas has gotten a pretty bad rep for that because it's quite the opposite. But it's like a full throttle assault on these traditional energy sources at the expense of these untested ones.
No, and natural gas has been a huge benefit to America, not just in terms of environmental benefits and emissions lowering, but jobs it's created and prosperity. You just need to look at the border of New York and Pennsylvania, which has allowed natural gas and fracking, and New York, my home state of New York, which has not allowed it. Property value is more expensive in Pennsylvania. Jobs are more plentiful. Housing prices are higher. Unemployment is lower. So you just look at these realistic statistics. Again, our politicians, and being in Virginia, maybe that's what happened on Tuesday, our politicians don't live in this world. And if you operated a small business or if you had to weed whack a couple hundred yards of fence lines, which sometimes I have to, you know a battery is not going to work. You know an electric vehicle, a $140,000 F-150 is out of your price point when a regular F-150 is $30,000, right? So it's so saddening. It's so angering to see politicians who don't live in the world that average Americans live in every single day.
There ought to be a market to invest in like goat or sheep futures, because that's about the only way you're going to be able to cut your lawn in the next few years. So we'll watch that closely. Daniel Turner, Power of the Future, founder and CEO. Good seeing you again, Dan.
Thank you.